Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Precious Metal Summit Virtual from Zurich, and this is day two, and we are coming to our last interview. Last but not least, of course, very interesting company, Sailfish Royalty. And with me here is Cesar Gonzalez, the CEO, and also Paulo Lostrito, who is the Vice President Corporate Development, and will take in addition a new role, which we will talk about in a minute. Hi guys, good morning to Canada. How are you doing?
We're doing great. Thank you for having us, Jürgen.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks for taking the time. I mean, we must not really explain what a royalty company is, but I must say, when I looked into your presentation, your company looks to me also like really special and interesting, because I think you have one of the highest dividend yields in the sector, right?
It's actually the highest, over 4% at today's prices, and that's intentional. We like returning capital to our shareholders, initially through buybacks, and most recently through the dividend, which was the first dividend we paid for the third quarter. And I have some good news, is that we are planning to continue to pay that dividend. So very shortly, with the release of our Q3 financials, we'll also announce the fourth quarter dividend.
Okay, fantastic. So if that you can pay a dividend means your company is in a very good financial situation on the one hand. On the other hand, that means you have already royalties streams which are generating cash flow. Can you please elaborate a little bit, where is, let's say, your focus for your royalties? I think it is the Americas, but please specify a bit more.
You are correct. It's the Americas, and we have two big royalties. One is actually a stream that's equivalent to a 3% NSR on the highest grade open pit in the world, which is the San Albino mine in Nicaragua, operated by Mako Mining Corp. That is the principal source of cash flow to the company today. And then we also have a 3% NSR. This is a royalty, not a stream, on the Spring Valley deposit, which is in Pershing County, Nevada. That is, the last time it was calculated was about a 5 million ounce deposit. It's owned by Waterton, which is a private equity firm in Toronto. Secretive, they don't put out too many press releases. And we can't wait for that asset to change hands so that I can tell you all the good things that have happened since it was privatized.
Okay, super. So how many cash flowing royalties you have today, and where do you see growth potential?
Okay, so the big one is San Albino. We have some residual royalty revenue from El Compas in Mexico, but that is going away. It's going back to being an exploration royalty. And earlier, before we went live, I mentioned to you that royalties never die. That's one of the beauties of royalties. So even at El Compas, where we were receiving a small amount of cash flow, we still have a 1.5% NSR, so that whenever they start exploring or producing again years later, that's an asset that requires no maintenance. We don't have to pay any taxes. We don't have to fund anything. We just wait. And when it comes back, it comes back. But right now, the cash flow is coming in from the mine in Nicaragua, which is ramping up. And it's supplying all of the cash flow we need to run the business. And excess goes to the dividend. We have plenty of cash on the balance sheet to continue to buttress the dividend. But that is, on track to be doing, north of 40,000 ounces a year. And we are receiving 3% of that. Net of taxes, no tax.
Okay, super. And any new projects, let's say, in the pipeline, anything you could imagine you do a new deal?
Actually, we're very opportunistic, which means we buy when we think it's a good opportunity to buy, and we sell when we think it's a good opportunity to sell. We monetized a royalty this year, the Tocantinzinho royalty in Brazil, to two purchasers, Metalla and Cisco Royalties, two other royalty companies. Very unique for a royalty company to do transactions with another royalty company. Another thing that makes us different is we'll do business with anyone. And we redeployed that capital. We made a loan to Mako, which is yielding right now close to 10%. A very good loan based on the gold price. Whether it goes up to 2,000, we get a higher percentage, and then it has a floor at 1,750. So it can only pay us, at a minimum 8%. So I think it's a very good deal. And we are actually looking right now at a royalty in Canada, and we're in the process because we think it's attractive, and we think we can pay a fair price for it. So I don't want people to think we're in the because we sold Tocantinzinho that we're in the mode of selling. No, we're in the mode of being active with our portfolio at any given time.
Okay, super. Also, what really got my attention is the Gavilanes silver property, and this is probably where Paulo comes now also into the play, because I think it's quite unusual that a royalty company is the operator of a silver property. So maybe Paulo, you want to say some words, because this will be a spin out, right? And you will be the CEO.
Yeah, that's the plan. So it's been announced that Gavilanes is going to get spun out into a new company called Swordfish Silver. It's part of a three-way deal that is involving another asset called Commonwealth in southeastern Arizona. And the plan is to take the company public. We've just updated two 43-101s that have been filed. And the plan is to aggressively drill both projects and update the 43-101s. Based on comparable companies, the valuation is approximately half of where comparable companies are trading at the moment. And the hope is if we're successful in increasing the resources materially, that it'll be a good deal for shareholders.
Fantastic. So when you say a good deal for the shareholders, first of all, the Sailfish shareholders will probably benefit. So would that mean that they will receive shares when you IPO, or how will that be spun out?
So it'll be dividend. The Sailfish shareholders will receive a dividend of the new company called Swordfish Silver. And they'll benefit from their ownership, the existing ownership of Sailfish. But over and above that, anyone who invests in the new vehicle should also benefit.
Okay, super. Yeah. And Cesar, would that mean that you have then also a royalty into Gavilanes still?
Good question. We haven't figured that out yet. Although I can tell you that if Swordfish were to put royalties on Gavilanes and Commonwealth, they would have a very close. It was one phone call or email away to talk to us to do it. There's a relationship there. These assets are coming from us, at least Gavilanes.
Yeah.
And Jürgen, for people who've been following our company since it started trading publicly, which wasn't until early 2018, January of 2018, Sailfish was a spinco. It was spun out of a company called Marlin, which is the predecessor to Mako. Yeah, so we've done this before. And for those shareholders that were shareholders of Marlin and got their Sailfish shares, I think they're very happy. We've created a lot of value, and that's the roadmap. We want to do it again.
Okay, super. I saw also in your presentation, San Albino Gold Stream restructuring. What is about that?
Yeah, that's a legacy slide. I think at this point I can probably take it out. But the San Albino stream was originally much larger, more punitive to the operator, and we restructured it so that so that the mine could work better and could go into production. And that slide is in there to remind shareholders that when Sailfish was taken public, it only had two assets: the San Albino stream and the Tocantinzinho royalty. And once we restructured the San Albino stream, we actually created another royalty surrounding the area of interest, which was very small, about 3.5 square kilometers. And then we created a 2% on 134.5 square kilometers surrounding that. And then we got El Compás, we got La Cigarra, we got some cash, we got Gavilanes, and it created the company you see today, really. It added a lot of assets through the restructuring. And so that's why I keep that slide in there, but that's not a current event. That happened in 2019 when Marlin and Golden Rain merged and Sailfish restructured the stream.
Yeah, okay. It just caught my attention, to be honest, because when I see restructuring, I always think there's something not wrong, but we have to talk about it. It's important. Super. Where do you see your USPs? Meaning, what makes Sailfish so special in comparison to all those other royalty companies we have in the market?
Yeah, there are many royalty companies now. When we started with this, there were fewer, and today there are more. What makes Sailfish unique is that it's run by shareholders. We consider ourselves shareholders that have not just a fiduciary responsibility as management, but a responsibility as shareholders to make as much money for ourselves as possible on a per share basis. And the way we accomplish that is that we run a very lean model. royalties can afford you that. You don't need to have a whole team to mine like you do in an operating company. You can have a few guys like Paulo, myself, Akiba, Brian McKenzie that can sit in very different offices. Paulo is in Arizona, I'm in Kansas, Akiba's in New York, Brian's in Vancouver. We do business virtually. We do it very light, asset light. And whatever cash we have, when we have it, we give it back. We buy back shares, we pay dividends. And if there's a good deal to be done, we will be able to raise capital on the back of the deal. We don't need to hoard cash, to fund things. Hopefully we'll be able to use our stock because people will see the value. And we want to just create as much of a pass through as possible. We like to think of the royalty business as a check cashing business. At the end of every month or every quarter, you go to the mailbox and you grab the check. And, that's how we think of royalties. And so I want to have that direct link between the royalty cash flow and the shareholders so that they feel like they actually own a royalty, as opposed to a company that just keeps all the cash trapped there and never gives it out to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I see management has over 10%, right?
That includes our in-the-money options. So if you dilute the in-the-money options, which is the primary form of compensation for myself and Akiba, then that we get over 10%.
Super. And some other large shareholders you have?
Yes, we have Wexford Capital, which is the controlling shareholder, also the backer of Mako. They're a private equity and hedge fund based in Connecticut and Florida. I used to work there. I have a long-standing relationship with Wexford of almost 13 years. And then we have Paul Stevens, who is a leader in the royalty space. He's very active, and we appreciate his investment, not only as an investor, but also as a mentor. Whenever we have questions, when we have ideas, we run things by him, and he's got usually a very good feel for the market and the landscape. So he's a great guy to have.
Fantastic. So that means, because I saw in the presentation, you have over $11.5 million cash and gold-linked loan receivables. Is that still the case today?
Yes, and that receivable I'm marking at $17.50 an ounce. So it started off 24 payments of 205 gold ounces equivalent a month times whatever the gold price was for the previous month. I mark it at $17.50 to be conservative because that's the floor. But as you know, gold is over $100 above that. So it's actually more. And then we have, about $3.5 million of cash. And that goes up every other week when we get gold deliveries from San Albino. So this company is in a very robust position in terms of its balance sheet.
Fantastic. So would that mean also with your two large shareholders that you would have enough firepower if a beautiful opportunity comes up? Meaning, do you have the chance to go there and say, hey guys, you know what? We want to make this royalty. We want to do that, but we need to say something, $20 million.
Yes. And when we acquired Terrico in 2019, they had a $12 million convertible loan. And at the last minute, the owner of that convertible loan, which is Waterton, called the loan just when we were about to close the deal. And this was going to be an all-share transaction. So we had to come up with $12 million quickly. And we had to call Wexford, and we got the money within a day. 12 million, bam. It wasn't part of the calculus up front, but that's the flexibility we have with a backer like that.
Fantastic. Super. Hey, that sounds like a great story. I really have to dig into that. Thanks for joining us today here. And thanks for the insight into your company. Good luck with the new company, Paolo, also for you. And Merry Christmas and all the best, and hope to see you soon, guys.
Yes, Merry Christmas. Thank you so much, Jürgen.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was Precious Metal Summit Day 2. My last interview here today with Sailfish Royalty. And you heard it, that was Cesar Gonzalez, the co-founder and CEO of the company, and also Paolo Lostrito, who is Vice President Corporate Development and will also do the new company Swordfish called, so we have Sailfish and Swordfish, which is really interesting. But what I like is the fact that industry-leading dividend, meaning the highest dividend in the royalty sector, or dividends are always highly appreciated in a net zero interest world. And also on the other hand, they have no debt so far and a lot of cash and 2 fantastic large shareholders, which can give enough firepower if great opportunities come up. So I would suggest you check out the company. Thanks for watching us, and bye-bye from Switzerland.